Good evening. We begin tonight with 12 News coverage of Decision 2024. It's primary election day in Arizona. Polls close in about 30 minutes, and around 8 o'clock tonight, or shortly after that, we should start seeing our first results. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Kadiva Devine. Today, we spoke to voters about what issues matter most to them in this election. Here's what they had to say.
Two main issues: freedom of choice for women and gun safety laws. So those are the two most important things to me and my family.
One of the issues, but it's not on it, nobody addresses it, is the homeless situation. You know, I mean, it's horrendous what's going on over there.
Well, tonight, one of the biggest issues and races we're watching: who will win the Republican vying for Senator Kyrsten Sinema's seat? Pinal County Sheriff Mark Lamb is hosting a watch party tonight.
That's right, and that is where we find 12 News journalist Chase Golightly, who is live in Queen Creek tonight. After speaking with Sheriff Lamb earlier this morning, Chase, what did he have to say?
Well, creepy Mark, I'll tell you, Sheriff Lamb told us he is feeling very confident heading into today. He did acknowledge that he and his opponent, Kari Lake, have very similar political views when it comes to immigration, border security. But he says what really separates them is he has on-the-job experience. He's been to the border. He's dealt with crime as a sheriff, and he really feels like that's what's going to separate him in this election tonight and bring the votes his way. He was telling us that this morning in Santan as he was going with his wife and family to vote there. While we were there, we were seeing him speak with several other people who were going in to vote. And also, just speaking with Sheriff Lamb, I was asking him, is there anything that you would do differently leading up to today? He said not at all. He and his team did his best to get his name out there. The one thing he said that he would change is get a debate with Kari Lake. Now, he and Kari Lake were given the opportunity to debate, but Kari Lake declined, and he said he really wished that they were able to take the stage together to speak with voters.
Absolutely. I think that we owed it to the people of Arizona to have a good debate. You know, like I said, a lot of the policies and the ideas of what we should be doing in this country are going to be fairly similar. But I think it would have given me a chance to really highlight the difference in experience and understanding of what's going on in the state of Arizona.
But Sheriff Lamb also said that, hey, that's over and done with. He's moving forward and looking forward to tonight. But he also said if given the opportunity, he does look forward to debating Ruben Gallego on the Democratic ticket. But again, we'll just have to see as those initial results come in how tonight is going to plan out. And we are expecting him to make an appearance here shortly. And of course, we'll bring you the latest. For now, we're live in Queen Creek. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you so much. And we're going to get to Kari Lake's campaign in just a second. But on the Democratic side, Ruben Gallego is running unopposed.
12 News journalist Joe Dana is following the campaign and has the latest.
And I think we're seeing a preview of what Congressman Gallego will run on. We're talking about seniors, Latinos, and moderate voters. Now, Congressman Gallego was here about an hour ago at the Mesa Convention Center. A pretty steady line of voters still filing through here. Congressman Gallego was joined with Congressman Greg Stanton. Now, if Gallego has a chance in this race in the generals, he'll have to win over seniors. He spent the last year proposing a series of bills designed to bring down prescription drug costs. He also touts his endorsement of the Alliance for Retired Americans. And yesterday he announced a new coalition of Latinos. That's another demographic he will be focusing on in messaging. And he spoke about that just in the last hour.
I've lived the American dream. I want to make sure every Latino in Arizona and every Arizonan has the same opportunity. So we're going to talk about that. We're talking about lowering the cost of just everyday living here in Arizona.
And as I mentioned, Congressman Greg Stanton also joined Gallego. They go way back. They both were at the city of Phoenix together when Stanton was a council member and Ruben Gallego was a chief of staff working at the council. We could see more of the two of them working together. More than once, Greg Stanton said that he represents what he believes are mainstream voters, and perhaps he is trying to use some of his clout to assist his colleague, Congressman Gallego, as they begin the real fight over the next 3 months. For now, from Mesa, I'm Joe Dana. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Joe, thanks. The race for the 8th Congressional District is expected to be extremely tight on the Republican side, with 6 candidates vying for a seat in Congress.
12 News journalist Sean Rice is following that race very closely tonight, and he joins us from ASU's West Campus, where ballots are being tallied and in that district. Hi, Sean.
Hey, Mark and Caribe, good evening to you both. If there's one word to describe this race, it may very well be combative, as both Blake Masters and Abe Hamadeh have been trading proverbial punches at one another since the very beginning of this race, and both men have also touted their endorsement by former President Donald Trump. Now, the 4 other Republican candidates vying for this seat are Trent Franks, Ben Toma, Anthony Kern, and Pat Briotti. Now, Blake Masters posted this photo on his social media accounts today of he and a voter at a polling location here in the West Valley, urging his supporters to get out and vote for him. Hamadeh followed suit, posting this picture of he and several of his supporters at another polling location here in the West Valley. Now, both men previously ran for office 2 years ago, Masters for U.S. Senate and Hamadeh for Arizona Attorney General. Both men lost to Democrats Mark Kelly and Chris Mays, respectively. One thing we do know is whoever wins tonight's primary election is likely to be their representative in Congress. That's because District 8 is a heavy Republican-leaning district. Now, the polls here at ASU's West Campus are scheduled to close at 7 p.m. Today, we reached out to Blake Masters' campaign to learn what his election night plans are, but so far, we're still awaiting a response. I am told Abe Hamadeh's campaign will be at a campaign event with Kari Lake this evening in Phoenix, and should he be the presumptive nominee in this race, we will bring you his reaction live right here on 12 News. Live outside ASU's West Campus, Sean Rice, 12 News.
Sean, thanks. And as you just heard, polls close at the top of the hour. And if past results mean anything, election results should start rolling in a little after 8 o'clock tonight. You can track them on our website, 12news.com. We'll also have special coverage for you online starting at 8:10. You can watch that on 12news.com, the 12 News app on your phone, or 12 Plus app on your Apple TV, Fire TV, or Roku device.